Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to rise today to provide to the members of this honorable House an overview of the role and functions of the Labor Relations Section in light of the various concerns and queries that the Ministry of Labor, Community Affairs, and Sports has received recently. Mr. Speaker, the Labor Relations Section sits within the Ministry of Labor, Community Affairs, and Sports headquarters and comprises of the Labor Relations Manager, an administrative assistant, and 3 labor relations officers. Mr. Speaker, the role of this section is to educate employers and employees on Bermuda's labor laws, that is, the Employment Act 2000, the Labor Relations Act 1975, the Trade Union Act 1965, and the Labor Disputes Act 1992, to investigate and mediate labor complaints while remaining neutral, to make appropriate referrals of unsettled complaints to the appropriate body for determination, to facilitate the process of union certification and decertification, to prepare for the UK office International Labour Organization reports, and to promote amicable and productive industrial relations within Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, the Labor Relations Section has various functions under each of the aforementioned acts, which I will now expound upon. The Employment Act 2000, this sets out the minimum standards for the terms and conditions of employment for persons working full-time in Bermuda and comprises the majority of the work managed by the Labor Relations Section. The Labor Relations Officer conducts an investigation into a complaint made pursuant to this act and mediates the parties to a resolution. And C, if a resolution cannot be reached, the complaint will be referred to the Employment Tribunal for determination. Under the Labor Relations Act 1975, the Act establishes and governs the procedure for the settlement of labor disputes within essential industries and essential services. The Labor Relations Officer conducts an investigation of a labor dispute pursuant to this Act and mediates the parties to a resolution. If a resolution cannot be reached, the labor dispute will be referred to the minister responsible for labor for consideration and referral to the appropriate board or arbitration panel. Those panels are the Permanent Arbitration Tribunal, the Essential Industrial Dispute Settlement Board, a mediator, a sole arbitrator, or an arbitrator and assessors. Under the Labor Disputes Act 1992, it establishes a labor disputes tribunal where it is expedient for the settlement of certain labor disputes within a non-essential service or industry. If a resolution cannot be reached and both parties do not consent to the referral of a labor dispute under the Labor Relations Act 1975, the labor dispute will be referred to the minister for consideration and referral to the Labor Disputes Tribunal. Under the Trade Union Act 1965, this act governs the certification and decertification of unions in the private and public sectors. The Labor Relations Officer reviews the certification application and assists the parties in determining the appropriate bargaining unit and conducts a secret ballot of the workers to certify whether or not a union will act as their sole bargaining agent. Parties have a right to appeal the order granting or refusing certification. The Labor Relations Officer, upon receipt of an application for decertification from the workers within a bargaining unit, inquires into the appropriateness of the existing bargaining unit and conducts a secret ballot of the workers to determine whether or not the certification of the union will be canceled. Mr. Speaker, as announced in the throne speech, the Minister of Labor, Community Affairs and Sports, working together with the unions and employer groups, will modernize the current labor legislation, that is, the Employment Act 2000, the Labor Relations Act 1975, the Labor Disputes Act 1992, and the Trade Union Act 1965, to ensure protections for employees, whether unionized or not. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Labor, Community Affairs and Sports has received a number of complaints from workers and members of the public pertaining to unfair contractual terms and the perceived disproportionate treatment of Bermudian and expatriate workers. Workers are urged to address any and all concerns and/or complaints with the Labor Relations Section which is responsible for the investigation and conciliation of all employment and labor-related disputes. Mr. Speaker, the Labor Relations Section is located at 23 Parliament Street, Hamilton, in the Earl Magistrates Court Building. They are open Monday to Friday from 8:45 to 5 p.m. and can be reached on 297-777-14 or 297-777-16. And the office welcomes walk-ins as well as appointments, Mr. Speaker. The section will shortly be commencing an educational campaign to advise employees of their rights under the various acts. I urge any employee who requires assistance or advice to contact the section who are there to provide just that, advice and assistance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.